What's up, Cowboy Nation? It's your man, comedian Rudy Rush. It is time for Table Talk. You know we got the home team here, my man Brady James.
Yo.
Also, Bryce Butler is in the building right now.
What's good?
And so what we're going to talk about this week, fellas, is a lot of things are still going on in the league, but things that get interesting because now it's a lot of injuries going on.
Yeah.
And, you know, Brady, you've been injured before, and Bryce,
I've been injured before.
So
Pulled a hamstring.
it's a lot of celebrity, like a lot of big names in the league going down, like Aaron Rodgers, J.J. Watt. So let's talk to, like, you know, how's that affecting the league, or how do you think it's going to be in a positive or negative way?
Well, Odell Beckham is going down too. It's a lot of popular players that have gone down. You know, this is a next man up league, and guys are waiting in the midst of for an opportunity, and I think guys will show up. You know, you hate to lose Aaron Rodgers as a Cowboy fan and as a former Cowboy. Soon as he went down, we already knew. Soon as he grabbed his shoulder, clavicle, we've seen it before. Yeah. We've been there, and so we knew that was a major issue. But injuries is a part of the game, and it's how you bounce back from it, and it's how the coaching and the coaching staff and everybody kind of gets together and get everybody on the same page and go out there and try to get another W.
Now, there's some people like when J.J. Watt went down, I think, you know, when you say next man up, I think that's a lot of, you know, it's easier, not easier for the defense, but sometimes when you have a leader like an Aaron Rodgers, someone like that goes down, it's like the team is like, okay, now where do we go? Because everybody's talking about now Green Bay season is over.
Right.
So, I mean, how do you guys feel about that?
It's interesting. In the Houston Texans case, I don't think they were like in shock or they were kind of like not knowing what to do because, you know, they didn't have them last year and they had like the number one defense I think last year, and they went to the playoffs with that defense. You know, Jadeveon Clowney has basically been the guy there the last season and a half. And then they lost another one of their pass rushers in the same drive. I think.
Whitney Merciless.
So
and in my opinion, his loss was bigger than J.J. Watt's.
Right, because he was there last year. He was
there.
Yeah, he was one of those guys. So, like,
Peace.
in those situations, in their specific case, I think they were okay with like, you know, you don't want him to go down, especially with all the stuff that was happening with the hurricane.
Yeah.
He was there for the city, raised all that money, and then he goes down. So that was kind of like one of those buzz kills for the whole city. Like, J.J. Watt. But, like, you know, a team like the Giants, you know, I'm not going to say it helped them because we don't really know, you know, what's going to look like, you know, the rest of the season for them. But it helps them to go into a game with teams not knowing how to scout them or how to D them up, because Brandon Marshall's gone, Odell Beckham's gone, Sterling Shepard's gone right now. So, like, they had a whole bunch of guys that were on the field this past Sunday against the Broncos, and they had no idea who to scheme
Like,
up.
who is this guy right here? And I think, like, now, as players, be honest, do you think it hurts more, like, the owners and the advertisers, because those faces that are on their pizza boxes or their soda cans, they're not going to be there, or people who pay tickets to kind of see a J.J. Watt? Do you think it has more of an effect on the organization more so than the team?
I think the kids and the fans that come in, because you can't predict when somebody's going to get hurt. And if you've saved so much money for the week and you got this particular matchup and this particular week earmarked for a victory or going to a game, you know, you hate to see that. But that's the NFL, and injuries will continue to happen, and that's just part of it.
Yeah, you never expect it, but just like Brady said earlier, there's another guy that's waiting, not really saying, like, I hope he's hurt, but they're waiting to get that opportunity.
Kind of like when my stepdad came in after my pop left.
And you called
he was sitting in the wings like, I can't wait for Lynn to be free.
And you were like, that's my mom's husband.
I thought he was my uncle. No, but real talk, like, you know, like situations, I think about New England all the time. When we would not know who Tom Brady is if it wasn't for an injury.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So sometimes, like, you know, as a fan or as a person who watches the sport, it's like this is an opportunity for somebody to be great, to become a huge part of football history.
Right. Yeah, and too, you know, with the evolution of the game, with the fantasy leagues, it's killing some people in fantasy. You know what I mean?
I don't like that because I'm not a big fan of fantasy.
Yeah.
You know, to the point where it's like people get too invested. Like, you know what I mean? It's like they texting players and they're like, you know. So sometimes I'm happy a big play like Odell goes out because it kills like 50 leagues. You know what I mean?
It
You know, I'm
kills a
not
lot
happy
of
for
leagues.
Odell because I want him to be out there and be healthy. You know what I
doubt,
mean? But at
no
the
doubt.
same time, it just kind of like disturbs certain things that are being taken advantage of as far as you guys being players.
Well,
you know?
and speaking of injuries, you know, when we playing, we talked about the backup quarterback. A lot of times, you never know what the backup quarterback can bring, and you don't even know who the backup quarterback really is until the starter goes out.
Right.
The starter goes out, the backup quarterback comes in, and he has he's out there rogue, throwing the ball, doing anything, because you hadn't prepared for him as a defense.
Shouts out to Dak Prescott, by the way. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's how his career came to be because, you know, Tony Romo went out. So, you know, Dallas is used to dealing with this already. They know the benefits and also some of the, you know, downsides of it because they've lost some defensive players in the past and then the defense is kind of was top ranked and it kind of went out. So sometimes it can help and sometimes it can kind of be devastating to a team.
Well, speaking of the Cowboys, you know, this was our bye week, and it was great timing for a bye week. I mean, you got so many injuries. You got all these different distractions, whether it's the protest, whether it's Zeke. I thought the league was going to come and get Zeke off the field while he was playing. I mean, if they came and got the great Tom Brady, it was just a matter of time.
I thought so, too. I kind of felt like, you know, when he kind of like went and got it turned over, I was like, this is not going to last too long. They came and got Tom Brady.
So clarify for me because I'm kind of behind. So he got suspended?
Yeah, so what they did was they overturned the 6-game suspension initially.
Right.
And now a court has actually turned it back over into the NFL side saying that he has to serve the 6 games. So that's where he is right now. So he has a chance to appeal it.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was thinking
yeah.
they were going to file a motion and then he would be right back here today.
Well, right now he better be someone, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
you know, that's another way you can actually lose a very impactful player.
Right.
But that's another next man up. You guys have a few running backs by committee that's going to come in.
Morris,
Yeah.
Fadden, Rod Smith. We got a lot of
Guys who have had great moments in the NFL who are
some
just
guys.
waiting. You know?
we you know, like I said, like Alfred was an All-Pro.
Mm-hmm.
He led the league in rushing 2 years straight.
Yeah.
And you know, for a guy like him, you know, it's very humbling to kind of see somebody like that go from where he went from to being here and kind of being a backup that doesn't really play that much.
Now, who's the scariest or the scaredest person on the team at this point with all these injuries, especially quarterback? Because a friend of mine told me, like, the backup quarterback is probably the scariest guy because he don't really want to get
Right,
some of those guys don't even want to get in
He's
there.
chilling. Yeah, he's chilling. You talking about in our scenario?
Yeah. Not necessarily like if Dak or somebody, but like somewhere like in Green Bay, who's the backup quarterback there?
Oh, Brett Hundley.
Yeah.
I know him because he went to UCLA and I went to USC. So he was, when I left SC, he basically smashed USC like 3 years straight.
So he's good. So he's somebody
He's
who
a
can
solid-
step in and be a star after.
Right. I think he'll be okay. I mean, I don't know what he's going to do. I'm not going to say he's going to do great. I'm not going to say he's going to do bad because I don't know. We don't know. But I think he'll be okay. Like he's a gunslinger just like Aaron. He can run, probably better than Aaron. But the only thing that's different is when guys like that get hurt, like your quarterback get hurt.
Yeah.
I always tell people you're gonna see how good the coaches are.
Yeah.
Because now the coordinator has to coordinate. You know what I'm saying? Like before, Aaron, you know, Aaron did his thing. You know, Tom Brady does his own thing. Drew Brees does his own thing.
A lot of those guys call their own plays, right?
Phillip Rivers does his own thing.
Yeah.
You know, Tony Romo did his own thing. But then when that guy's out, now you really see.
The X's and O's.
Yeah,
the true
because
game plan.
the next guy is not going to be able to do all that stuff that they did.
Now, one thing I did realize, like when you hurt, you really hurt because you guys play with injuries all day anyway. Like you probably have like 4, not trying to give anybody no secrets, but at the same time, there's things like like maybe an ankle or a wrist or a finger or something like that, and you guys have played with like 6 or 7 injuries, and so you really got to be hurt to be on.
There's a difference between hurt and injury, right?
Yeah, no doubt. And we're getting that with Shawn Lee. Shawn Lee is chopping at the bit trying to get back out there on the field. And he's been injured. And so he knows that he has to be out there because he's the cog that makes this whole thing go on the defensive side of the ball. It's arguably said that we could have won several games if he would have been out there, especially that last one. It was a mixed communication on that last play with Aaron Rodgers getting out. They were spying him, but the running back came out, and Anthony Hitchens took the running back. But so somebody was trying to get over the top, and they ran into each other.
Oh,
now,
Justin Durant.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Justin Durant.
Yeah,
So
Durant,
when you have – that's just a breakdown in communication. It's not that those guys are not trying to do their job. It's just a breakdown. And usually when you got the starter out there and the guy that's the baller, the signal caller, he goes out and he's decisive in the playmaking ability that he has, and he goes out there and make those plays.
Now, what happened to Aaron Rodgers, of course, you guys just talked about how that came to be. Does he look at some of the players who's supposed to defend him in that respect? That, is there any like ill will or just kind of bad feeling or just kind of like, later on in the locker room, like, yo, man, you missed your assignment. Now I'm sitting out for the rest of however long.
I don't think it's a direct communication. You know what I mean?
direct.
Or is anybody on the team like, come on, man?
Yeah, it's not
you
a
messed up for
direct-
everybody.
It's not a direct, but you kind of know.
Yeah.
Like, because, for instance, I play receiver, so there's a lot of receiver screens that are thrown to guys, and then the receivers have to block for that receiver. So, and you have to trust that he's going to block because you can't look to see where the people are. So, like, if I'm, trying to catch a screen and I turn around and get blasted, I got hit because he didn't get my block. So, like, it's one of those things where, like, on TV, if that happens, like, you'll see the guy looking at him like, yo, like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying?
Or is it like it's like a prison where you go to the showers afterwards, like, yo,
Or
man, what happened to
if you get hurt, if you get hurt from it, that guy is gonna come up to you for the most part, like, yo, dog, like, my bad, like, I'm sorry, because he knows that was
why
his
he got
hurt.
He missed it,
Yeah,
But
so shout out to Dak Prescott, because last year in the first game against New York Giants, he threw the ball to Cole Beasley, and that was the defining moment of the season for me. Like with him, he threw the ball to Cole Beasley, and Cole Beasley got blasted off the screen. I'm talking about he got hit so hard.
Was that Chicago? I think that was Chicago.
He got hit so hard. I mean, it's been a couple times.
Yeah, it was Chicago.
Well, he got hit so
Chicago.
hard. He comes back, Cole Beasley comes back, and he patted Dak on the butt. And I said, okay, this dude is a leader. We got somebody. Yeah. So with Dak, you see him kind of evolving, transforming, and as we go into this next game, it's time for a lot of guys to kind of show up, grow up, because it's about wins. And when you don't finish the games, here we are, you're 2-3, and it's about time to we're talking about going 500. We got to get there, because if you don't, it's gonna be a rough one.
Now, speaking of wins, you guys just had a bye week. Got a chance to sit back and heal a little bit and watch the league and stuff like that. Now, you guys have a big game coming up with a team that's not doing too well right now. So now we were talking off air about how the Giants came and they beat Denver. Yeah. Now you guys are going to San Francisco and they're not doing too well. How's the mindset going into this game?
You know what? I don't think we're in one of those Broncos mindsets with the Giants because, I mean, honestly, let's be honest, like we're not doing that great either. If you look at our record or whatever. So, I mean, we're 2-3. I don't know what the Niners have they won a game?
Nah, they're under. They haven't. won a game
okay,
yet.
So they haven't won a game, but it's like we only won 2 more games than them, And then, and then on top of that, those guys are playing every team tough. So like I'm pretty sure when we watch tape, it's gonna be like, look, like this team isn't no slouch. They're not no pushover. They're playing every game by one possession. They just kind of like how we have been the last 2 games. We just haven't found a way to finish. So we definitely can't go in this game like lighthearted thinking that the Niners are bad, because even when we played them last year, it wasn't like an easy win. I think it was our 3rd win of the season last year, but it wasn't easy. We were down 14-0, and then Terrence scores a touchdown, I scored a touchdown. Now it's a tie ball game, and the second half was kind of like back and forth. I think we won by like a touchdown or 3 points. We didn't kill that. We didn't blow them out. None of us are going to be thinking, I hope none of us are going to be thinking like, this is an easy homecoming type win, because it's.
So what's the typical bye week like for you guys? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you came in here and you demolished the French toast. So you
ready to eat.
You must have been on a diet or something. This is the only place you eat.
Yeah, typically the bye week for me is like chill, and it was like, you rest and heal up. I mean, I wasn't out for, due to an injury, but I had some ailments that were bothering me. So you try to do the best as you can to rest your body, get as much sleep as you can. I'm not a big partier, so like I'm not out there drinking and getting drunk every night. I'm pretty sure there are guys were, which they can do if they want to. But, you know, for me, it's just more relaxed. Like this week for me, I did a lot of TV. Shout out to Table Talk. But I did some NFL Network stuff.
Yeah.
On
I
Monday.
saw you posted some stuff.
Yeah, on Monday and then on Friday, which was very eventful.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was some stuff that happened that was interesting. It gave me another outlook to see what's been going on from like another, I guess, point of view per se. So I mean, it was good. I mean, I learned a lot this weekend.
Okay, cool. Well, I know when we come back next week, we're gonna talk about all the cooking tips you've been getting online from Brady, cooking mussels and all.
You know what I'm talking about?
Hey, look, I was looking at that. I was like, did he put pepper in there? Hey, we're gonna come back next week with more Table Talk from Brady James, my man Bryce. It's your man Rudy Rush. Table Talk. We'll be back next week.
Yes, sir.